Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. That's all praises to the Most High God in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. We're SICARII Phoenix. I'm Officer Ayadan. I'm here with Soldier Yatazar. And today we're going to be addressing many of Israel's strong negative views against alcohol, music, and guns. So let's start off in Genesis.
Genesis 27, chapter 27 and verse 26. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now and kiss me, my son.
So right now, Isaac called over Jacob to give Jacob his blessing. All right, read on.
And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of the field which the Lord hath blessed.
Because if you're familiar with this story, Jacob has been disguised as Esau in order to get the principal blessing. So right now he's realizing that the scent coming from his son Jacob reminds him of Esau. He thinks it's Esau because he's lost his sight at this point. Read on.
Verse 28, Therefore God give thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine.
And plenty of what?
Corn and wine.
So plenty of corn and wine is part of the blessing that Israel was to get in the first place. So this abolitionist movement in the Israelite community that's acting like you can't drink anything outside of some communion wine on Passover or something like that is off, man. The wine is part of the blessing. Read.
Let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee.
If you want to rule over these other nations and you want them to serve you, having plenty of corn and wine and the dew of heaven and all that stuff is what comes along with it. All right, read.
Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee.
See that? So just the same way that everybody that blesses us is blessed and everybody that curses us is cursed, that's our blessing, so is abundance of wine. The problem comes in when you drink in excess, because you're not supposed to drink too much wine. It's supposed to be a drunkard. All right? Let's read Ecclesiastes 31, start at 27. I'll go to 29.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 31, chapter 31, verse 27. Wine is as good as life to a man.
Wine is as good as life to a man. Read.
If it be drunk moderately.
If it be drunk moderately. So wine was given to us to enjoy, okay? Not just for a sacrament one time out of the year. You're supposed to be able to enjoy things in life like wine and music and other things. Read.
What life is then to a man that is without wine? For it was made to make men glad.
That's why it's here. It's made to make men glad. We have enough hardships in this world to have niggas that's been in this truth since before I was born telling people that they can't have a sip of damn wine. All right? It's ridiculous, man. Relax a little. Have your little drink. Just don't go overboard with it. Don't fall victim to it. Have some self-control. Read.
Wine measurably drunk and in season bringeth gladness to the heart.
Measurably drunk and in season. All right? That doesn't mean be sloshed around drunk, stumbling around in the streets, waking up early to the wine and all that stuff. You have things to do, take care of business. But when it's your downtime, sure, have a drink, man. Go ahead.
And cheerfulness of the mind. But when drunken with excess maketh bitterness of the mind, with brawling and quarreling.
See that? So when drunken with excess, you get to the brawling and the quarreling and the bitterness of the mind. That's when you're doing it too much. If you're doing it too much, if you have a problem with it, then maybe you should back up off. All right? It's not a bad thing to abstain from it for a time to get that under control if you have a problem. If you don't have no problem, then it's no problem. All right? Give me chapter 32, Ecclesiastes 32, 5 and 6.
It's Ecclesiastes 32, verse 5. A concert of music and a banquet of wine is as a signet signet of carbuncle set in gold.
So music and wine, especially when paired together, is as a rare stone set in gold. It's a beautiful thing. It's wonderful. I don't know why so many Jakes hate music and say you can't listen to music and you can't enjoy music. Music is literally here for you to be enjoyed. All right? Read on.
Verse 6. As a signet of an emerald set in a work of gold, so is the melody of music with pleasant wine.
So that's just reiterating the point. Again, whether it's carbuncle or emerald, it's a precious stone set in gold. It's beautiful to behold, just as music and wine. All right? It's supposed to be there for you to enjoy. Read Ecclesiastes 40 and 20.
Ecclesiastes chapter 40, verse 20. Wine and music rejoice the heart, but the love of wisdom is above them both.
See that? So the love of wisdom is above them both, but that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy those two things. A lot of our brothers get into this, righteous over much thing and want to exclude everything that doesn't directly relate to us getting the kingdom, right? Yes, wisdom is the principal thing. Seek after that first. But it's okay to enjoy yourself from time to time. It's not a bad thing. All right? Give me verse 21.
Verse 21. The pipe and the psaltery make sweet melody, but a pleasant tongue is above them both.
See that? The pipe and the psaltery make a sweet melody, but the pleasant tongue is above them both, man. So beautiful, beautiful words, beautiful songs, beautiful singing. All right? All of these things are wonderful things. It's a great talent to have to be able to sing well. A lot of people don't even sound right when they speak, let alone when they sing. Okay? So that's a gift from the Most High. Give me go back to Ecclesiastes 32. I'll read verses 3 and 4.
Ecclesiastes 32, verse 3. Verse 3. Speak thou that art the elder, for it becometh thee.
So if you're an elder, it's good to speak, right? Because we learn from our elders, read.
But with sound judgment and hinder not music.
With sound judgment and hinder not music. If there's music playing, that's not the time to speak. It's not the time to speak, read.
Pour not out words where there is a musician, and shew not forth wisdom out of time.
See, there's a such thing as showing wisdom out of time. You're supposed to allow people to enjoy themselves when the music is playing and when they're enjoying their wine. That's not the time to be rebuking everybody for every little thing, all right? Do we need to rebuke our people? Yes, absolutely. But I mean, as far as brothers that's out there doing the work and teaching in these camps, I'm pretty sure most of us got that, all right? Most of us got that part. What we don't have is the understanding that sometimes it can be out of season. Every waking moment is not the time to be rebuking every little thing, all right? Sometimes it's time to just sit back and enjoy something, all right? Give me 1 Samuel 18 and 6. Because even amongst this anti-music brigade, some of them will say, okay, some music is all right as long as it's not secular music, right? As long as the content isn't what I find to be offensive at all in any way. It can't be any violence. It can't be any of this or that. Now, we're not saying go out and just fill your brain with a whole bunch of adulterous lyrics and lyrics about, committing all types of sin. That's not what we're telling you to do. But the idea that even in what they call truth music, it has to sound like gospel for some reason, or people are upset. There can't be any harsh words. There can't be any masculinity to it. It can't be anything that feels aggressive at all. But what did we sing about in the Bible? We sang about aggressive things in the Bible from time to time. We sang about violence in the Bible from time to time. A lot of our people forget these things. Read that.
Book of 1 Samuel, chapter 18, verse 6. And it came to pass as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistines, that the woman came out of all cities of Israel.
These women came out of the cities of Israel singing, read.
Singing and dancing to meet King Saul with tabards, with tabards, with joy, and with instruments of music.
They're instruments of music, singing, they're joyful, they're dancing. What are they singing about? Read.
And the women answered one another as they played and said, Saul hath slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s.
So they were singing back and forth to each other about Saul killing his thousands and David killing his 10,000s. So what do you look? A lot of these jakes that's around here today talking this madness would have heard them women singing that back then and tried to point them out for being wrong about something. No, it was a beautiful song that they were singing with joy in their hearts because we slayed our enemies. Right. Okay? We slayed our enemies. And how did we slay our enemies? Did we go out to the battlefield? Salaki, give me this. Did we go out to the battlefield and meet up with the Philistines and, all right, you went for it now, brother. This is Deuteronomy. No, man. We went out there and we fought, man. We fought battles. We fought physical battles, carnal battles. Brothers always say, oh, you carnal if you have any kind of weapon. You got a knife in your pocket, you're carnal. You got a gun on your hip, you're carnal. You got a sword hanging on your wall, you're carnal. Well, we had all kinds of weapons and munitions all throughout the Bible, right? Now, we've done videos on weapons in the Bible before, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but I am going to touch on the subject at least a little bit, because everybody knows that we had swords. Everybody knows that we had spears. And that usually ends up being the fallback argument. Well, you know, it's not the same thing as an AK-47, it was a sword. Well, the sword was the weapon of the day back then, all right? The gun's the weapon of the day now. And that's just how it is. It doesn't matter that it's a projectile weapon. We had crossbows and bows and slings and all that stuff in the Bible too, all right? Those are projectile weapons as well. Give me 1 Samuel 17 and 45. And read the 47.
1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 45.
Speaking of David, right? Read.
Then said David to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword, and with a spear, and with a shield, but I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of our enemies of Israel. Slakia. But I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel.
See, he's coming in the name of the Most High God, Yahweh, all right? Of the armies of Israel. He's boasting in this claim, all right? Read.
Whom thou hast defied.
Read on.
This day will Yahweh deliver thee into mine hand.
You see that? He's saying, look, today Yahweh's going to deliver you into my hand. Read.
And I will smite thee and take thine head from thee.
He didn't read to him and say, well, eventually the Lord is going to destroy you. He said, today the Lord is going to deliver you in my hand, and I'm going to take your head off your shoulders. Read.
And I will give the carcasses of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air.
He said, not only am I going to take your head off, but all the men you brought with you, I'm leaving them for the vultures, man. I'm leaving them for the birds. They're going to be dead bodies in the field. Read.
And to the wild beasts of the earth, and all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel.
And how are they going to know that there's a God in Israel? Because I am about to kill you. That's how. Oh, was David carnal? Was David not a man of the Lord? What was that? Verse 46 or 7?
That was 46.
Read 47.
Verse 47. And all this assembly shall know that Yahweh saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is Yahweh's, and he will give you into our hands.
So not only are we going to kill you with these weapons, but we are telling you that it's not the weapons that are winning this fight for us. It's the Most High God, Yahweh, that's delivering you to us for us to kill. That's why when people say, oh, putting out your faith in your weapons, duh, you don't put your faith in your weapons. You put your faith in the Most High God. Your sword can go dull. Your gun can jam. You got a sling, your arm can cramp. okay? You put your faith in the Most High God and you use the weapons that he gave you to slay your enemies. All right, give me verse 49.
Verse 49, and David put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone and slang it and smote the Philistine in his forehead.
So he smote the Philistine in his forehead with the stone that he cast forth with the sling. Read.
And the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth.
So the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth. He didn't just get bonked on the head and it bounced off. It went in his skull. He shot that man in the face, all right? So don't tell me nothing about the Lord's not with men having guns, all right? David shot a nigga in the face. Get over it, man. Give me 2 Chronicles 26 and 3. It's a dead Philistine, man. If y'all was around in David's day, y'all would probably be trying to stop him and let the Philistines damn take over because y'all was scared of how big Goliath was. What's the Philistine army going to think about us if we carrying swords, Ak? Who cares, man? If the Lord's with you, you're going to win. Read.
2 Chronicles 26 and verse 3. 16 years old was Gaziah when he began to reign, and he reigned 52 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Jechaliah of Jerusalem. And he did that which was right in the sight of Yahweh, according to all that his father Amaziah did.
So this man was ruling in Israel, and he did right in the sight of the Lord, right? Read.
Verse 5, and he sought...
As a matter of fact, go down to 14.
Verse 14, and Uzziah prepared for them throughout all the host shields and spears and helmets
and habergeons
and habergeons.
That's like body armor. All right, read.
And bows and slings to cast stones.
So he had all kinds of edged weapons, ranged weapons, shields, helmets, body armor, all that stuff. Was this a man that didn't have any faith, or was he a man of the Lord at this point in time? All right? People want to do is they want to nitpick and say, oh, well, you know, brother fell off later on. Well, he didn't fall off at this point, and he had the munitions stored up, and he was doing right in the sight of the Lord, right? So it's not wrong to have these things. Drop that. Give me Luke 11 and 21.
Book of Luke, chapter 11, like 21?
Yeah.
Verse 21.
What color are those letters, huh?
They're red.
All right, read them.
When a strong man armed keepeth his place,
Palace.
When a strong man armed keepeth his palace, his goods are in peace.
So when a strong man who is armed keepeth his palace, his goods are in peace. Read.
But when a stronger than he shall come upon him and overcome him, he taketh from him all his armor wherein he trusted, and divideth his spoils.
So when somebody who's stronger than him and might have better weaponry than him come and overtake that man, he takes all the weapons and armor that he trusted in and his spoils. The point is, you don't trust in your weaponry. You trust in Yahweh. That's been the point the whole time. But that doesn't mean you don't have the weaponry. If you have it, they can't just run up in your house. If you trust in the Most High God, those weapons will not fail you, and you will triumph over whoever it is that's trying to attack you. If you're doing the right thing, if you're staying on the right path, man. Give me Psalms 44 and 6. We'll close out 6 to 8.
Psalms chapter 44, verse 6. For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me.
So you don't trust in your bow, you know your sword's not going to save you. Read on.
But thou hast saved us from our enemies, and hast put them to shame that hated us.
So when we trust in Yahweh, he's going to put our enemies to shame. The ones that hated us, the ones that hate him, he's going to put them to shame. Read.
In God we trust all the day long. In Yahweh we boast all the day long.
So in Yahweh we boast all the day long. This is David. This is the Psalms. This is the same man that said what he said to Goliath before he smote him and his arm. Okay? Yeah, we got these weapons, but it's Yahweh that's killing you by giving you to us. We don't trust in our bow. We know the sword's not going to save us. We give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Read.
And praise thy name forever, Salah.
And praise thy name forever, Salah. So when you see a brother enjoying some music, understand that that is biblical. When you see a brother enjoying some wine, understand that is one of the blessings that was given to us by our father Isaac. Okay? And when you see a brother with some kind of weapon on him, don't think that that automatically means he's some criminal or he's an agent or any other ridiculous claim. These are the things of the Lord.